My wife admitted to an emotional affair 12 years ago and I can't stop thinking about it. I'm a male in his early 50s married to a woman for 26 years. Although I've always been faithful, she's always been extremely jealous and interrogates me if I'm more than half an hour late coming home from work or the pubic hair in my underwear doesn't look like she thinks it should look. I once had to compare it to the hair on my body to prove it was mine. I'm ashamed to say that I actually did that. I once questioned her jealousy and said she must be projecting her guilt about something she did. She flatly denied it. About 12 years ago, I had an extremely demanding job working nights while she worked a day shift. I frequently came home mentally and physically exhausted, but I got the kids ready for school, dropped them off, ran errands, took a cat nap, then picked them up from school again before my wife got home and I could get some real sleep. By the time she got home I was too tired to spend much time with her since I had to try to get some good sleep in before returning to work. I made an effort to spend quality time with her and the family over my days off, but my wife said she still felt neglected. At this time, I was making nearly twice her income and I was proud of being able to pay the bills, but the exhaustive routine was sliding me into depression. When I expressed that I was in a bad place mentally and I needed a career change soon, she just told me to deal with it until I can find something else that pays the same because I was the main provider. That was not the supportive response I was looking for, so I soldiered on. My wife thought it would be a good idea to enter my oldest kid in a local karate class twice a week while I was home sleeping, and I thought I would be good for the family to get out of the house. My wife liked the class environment and said that there was an adult class right after the kids' class and she wanted to join. I really thought it was a good idea and I encouraged her to do so. I supported her progress as she graduated to higher levels and went to all the testing and new belt presentation ceremonies. She asked me to join too, but my work schedule made it difficult and it really was not for me. Then she started mentioning Herb, not real name. Herb had a daughter my kid's age and he was one belt higher than she was, so he could help her learn her katas. Soon, they were taking the kids out for ice cream after class and to the park on afternoons when there was no class. I noticed that they were hanging out a lot, but my wife assured me that the kids were playmates and it was just play dates to get the kids out of the house while I slept. I didn't want to be that guy who was overly jealous and controlling, so I didn't interfere or give her a hard time about it. Eventually, I had what I considered to be a nervous breakdown. I was nearly suicidal with depression and quit my job after a particularly bad work week. I know that was a bad idea and wife was livid, but when I tried to explain my terrible mental state so she could understand that I was in a bad place mentally, she called me a weak loser and threatened to divorce me. Being free of the oppressive job and getting regular sleep worked wonders for my mental state, and I was able to find a job within 2 months. Unfortunately, it paid less, but it was rewarding and relatively stress-free. The job gave me the opportunity to transfer to a state in a southern climate. When I told my wife, she jumped at the chance to get away from cold winters. She said goodbye to Herb and her karate class and we moved south. 12 years later, I hold an upper management position and I am well paid and relatively happy. I thought my wife was as well, but lately, she has been distant and moody. I was researching infidelity issues because my siblings were dealing with it in their lives and I didn't know how to talk to them about it. My wife told me that she noticed me looking up infidelity advice videos on YouTube and it made her worry. That's where my current issue starts. I explained that I was trying to gather useful advice for my siblings because I had no personal experience to work from. We started to have a conversation about the topic and I noticed her becoming uncomfortable. Then I tried to put her at ease by saying that I am too aware of the negative consequences of infidelity and I wouldn't be able to feel good about being with someone else knowing that I was betraying someone who loved me. She responded with, "So you're saying you've thought about it?" I explained that I only thought about the negative aspect of the scenario. I wasn't fantasizing about anyone in particular. This was true. I have never even come close to considering an acquaintance or coworker as an affair partner. She still insisted that I had just confessed to thinking about having an affair with someone. She seemed relieved at her perceived confession and tells me that she thought of it too. I asked what she meant and she explained that when I was working the night shift she felt abandoned and I wasn't giving her the attention that she needed. When she met Herb in karate class, he paid her compliments and gave her the attention that I wasn't giving her while I was home sleeping. She said there were several times that he came over with his kid and they took walks to the park where they would talk while the kids were playing. He talked about the issues with his wife and she complained about me. She felt that their time together was rewarding and looked forward to seeing him every week. I asked her if talking was all she did and she said yes, but if he had made a move to kiss her she wouldn't have stopped him. She went on to say that if we hadn't moved away they would have had sex because she would have made a move on him. She said the only reason he didn't do anything was because he was afraid of his wife, but she was definitely emotionally involved. I said that was nothing like me imagining a negative infidelity scenario and that she just admitted to an emotional affair with him. Well, you're guilty of the same thing because I was just thinking about it too. Anyway, it was a long time ago and I'm still with you. She saw that I was getting upset and seemed shocked. I asked if there was anyone else and she said no. I said I couldn't discuss it anymore and I had to process what she told me. Now I can't sleep because I can't stop thinking about it. Why would she bother telling me something like that knowing it would hurt me? Is there more to her story that she's leaving out? I'm terrified that this is a trickle truth situation and there is more that she is holding back. It's almost like she pounced on my statement of thinking about infidelity as an opening to share her situation as if they were equally bad. Am I missing something? Should I look into this further? My gut tells me this might lead to something deeper and it terrifies me. Any advice is welcome. Ida for refusing to give my money to my big brother anymore. I, 23F, refuse to give money to my brother, 25M. I am a full-time student with some part-time jobs and my brother is a university dropout and jobless. I pay bills and contributes in groceries finance at home. We live with our parents and other siblings. I've a hobby, writing fanfic, and it's a thing nowadays to write fanfic threads in Twitter, so I write them anytime I can. In between work, or when I walk home, or well, you get the gist. Just post your idea randomly in Twitter without writing it as a full story. Sometimes it acts like a draft. I post the idea before I write them properly. So, my brother always borrows my money. But few days ago, I am so tired and I don't want to give him money anymore, like I screamed at him to get a job. Today I write my fanfic thread in Twitter and tweet them. I put away my phone and continue my work. On my short break, I check my Twitter and I found out everything in my Twitter is gone. I am shocked. I keep refreshing but nothing appears. I check, I open my other Twitter account and see message like author delete this tweet, and what? I didn't. I thought, who has the access to my account? They're locked with TAF. Then I remember my laptop at home, and I asked my little sister to check my laptop, and she said that our big brother used my laptop just now for work something. She saw him walked out of my room few minutes ago. I got home after work, then I confront him and we got into huge argument with him banging kicking stuff around. He is mad because I did not lend my money to him, and I say he have not pay even 1 cent, and he says he will after he gets a job and I need to be patient. It is draining to see the money I work half dead for drains within seconds. That's why I don't want to let him borrow anymore. And he never repay it. And he got mad that he deletes my Twitter thread. Some part of me feel like I am so petty for overacting for some Twitter fanfic thread, but it's my safe place. I don't know how to describe it. Writing fanfic is a rest for me. Something I enjoy, I love to do. When the world is so hectic, I write. When I'm happy or sad, or anything, I write. Now everything is gone. But part of me now that it's okay for me to react because those fanfic threads are precious to me. But, ARGH. I said I refuse to borrow even 1 cent to him from now on. Even when he is desperate or begging, I refuse. And he says I've soft spot for people in need, and for him and something about blood thicker than water. I love my family and I love my brother, but at this moment I really hate him. I lost my fanfic thread and I don't know. I'm so sad right now. I apologize for bad English. Ida for not wanting to lend money to him anymore, and I'm serious. I refuse to give him even 1 cent, and Ida for that? Edit. Well, the replies from all of you are eye-opener. My parents refused to take side. My ma said that it is my fault for overreacting for mere Twitter stuff, and she said to my brother his fault for not having job and constantly relying on me. My dad said to him to man up and you were a gold digger, right? Then my dad said to me, I know writing is precious to you, but why you don't keep it safely? And something like that. Then I sit with my brother and I told him to recite the amount of the money he borrowed and what he used it for. But I kinda softened when he said he bought me a set of fancy notebooks. I love notebooks, so that kinda make me softened. But I don't let it go, for real. I told him that I bought our little sister BTS album for her birthday, so I can actually buy those notebooks myself. When I say I softened, I mean, I got him a job at fast food restaurant. A friend told me they need someone and I suggest my brother. I told my brother to pay me up when his finance is stable and he agreed. But he said he dislikes that his gaming time is disturbed. I told him about time management and all. So we're okay. I just hope he did not quit. Thank you for everyone who replied. I don't know how long this peace will last. But I'm working and new semester is coming up. I'm still stressed about the money I lost and the Twitter threads. I can't solve IT at all. So I lost everything. Money and my precious writings. I am managing. I'm trying to rewrite what I can remember, but hey, it hurts so much. Like, I know this part is brilliant. I remember what I feel when I write it, but I can't remember the exact words. Ha ha. Well, I can do this. Thank you again, everyone.